What's up, guys, and welcome in to another edition of the Rally Time podcast with me, your host, Justin Babin Jr. As always, Christian and the producers share once again. As always, absolutely. Got the script memorized by now. I've had a few people tell me I have your script like opening memorized down to heart, and I'm like, should I change it?
No,
Does that mean I should change it?
No.
And I said, I'm gonna just keep going with
It's
it.
iconic. Make it your thing.
It's
You want a thing, make it your
I
thing.
wouldn't say iconic, but yeah, we'll
I think
see.
It's pretty iconic.
No, today's show, only one show this week. We, finals week for LSU and stuff like that, and been a busy week for Christian and myself. So one show this week, so we got a lot to talk about. We're going to spend the first 10 to 15 minutes kind of not breaking down every game by game, but just big takeaways from the series in College Station from this past weekend against Texas A&M, and then we'll get into the back half of the show. We'll be spending time previewing this big series in the box against Arkansas, who's number 7 in the country now. Yeah, let's get into A&M real quick. It was a little bit of a disappointing series on the road in College Station. LSU drops 2 of 3. Unfortunate, but it's what happens in baseball sometimes, especially in SEC play on the road. We talked about it last week, Christian, how hard it is to win in College Station, no matter the sport, football, baseball, basketball, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so it just kind of proved to be that. I mean, LSU had a chance they were up 4-2 in the 8th inning of the rubber match, Game 3 on Sunday, and just it got away from them, giving up 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. And unfortunately, LSU loses the series, but they do get one. They won Game 2 of the doubleheader on Saturday after dropping the opening game on Saturday. The thing that stands out is you got to be a little concerned about the offense, especially on the road. My biggest concern is this team's been able to hit at home. They were obviously able to hit at home, especially in Game 3 Sunday against Tennessee. And they've been able to hit at home all season, but this is 2 straight road series now against Texas A&M and before the road series LSU had before at Auburn, where the LSU offense has just been flat. Like, they haven't been good in 2 straight road series. And that's concerning, especially in postseason play. You're not always going to be playing at home. Like, you obviously want a top 8 seed, so you get to host a regional and get to host a super regional. But, like, when you go to Hoover for the SEC tournament, when you go to Omaha, if you get to Omaha for the College World Series, you're going to have to be able to hit outside of Alex Box Stadium. Like, you're going to have to be able to. So that's a little bit concerning to me. In Game 1, LSU only put up 1 run. They put up 2 runs in Game 2, and they put up 4 runs Sunday in Game 3. So not a lot of offensive production for LSU. All 3 starting pitchers for A&M had a lot of success against the LSU lineup, especially their ace, Ryan Prager, Justin Lampkin, who started Game 2 for Texas A&M. The LSU lineup struck out 28 times this weekend, and that's a high number, higher than you want it to be. And I just think they kind of wasted a really solid overall pitching performance from the pitching staff this weekend. I thought overall that the pitching staff did a pretty good job overall this weekend. Cade Anderson was really, really good. Only allowed 1 run in 6 innings while striking out 12. So another really good start by Cade Anderson. Anthony Ianson had the performance of the weekend by far, and the performance of the season personally for Ianson. I mean, he was just absolutely dynamite in Game 2 of the doubleheader on Saturday. Ianson threw a complete game. He struck out 14 batters and only gave up 1. He only gave up 3 hits in the entire game and pitched all 9 innings to kind of will LSU to winning that Game 2 and stealing that Game 2 from Texas A&M. Even though LSU only put up 2 runs, it was enough because of how dominant Anthony Ianson was. So he had the standout performance of the weekend by far. Sunday, I thought Kason Evans was okay. I didn't think it was bad in his second career start. He was just a little less efficient. He had already thrown 73 pitches after the first 3 innings, which is less efficient than you want. Like, getting up into the mid-70s after 3 innings with a pitch count is, like, not a great recipe for your starter to put in, 5 or 6 innings. I thought Chase Shores looked good Sunday in relief overall. Shores only gave up 1 run in 2 innings of work, so I thought Shores was good. Zach Cowan this weekend, Zach Cowan's been one of the best relief pitchers in the country. I mean, he's been absolutely excellent this season. But this weekend he was shakier. It was his shakiest weekend of the season so far for Zach Cowan. Cowan gave up 2 runs in game 1 in relief, and he gave up the go-ahead 3-run homer to Texas A&M's Caden Sorrell in game 3 Sunday. That was the final blow that A&M needed to notch the 6-4 win and the series win. Not really worried about Cowan, but it wasn't a great weekend from him. I expect him to bounce back. You're going to have a bad weekend every now and then. He's been great all season. So we'll see, especially going into an Arkansas series against a lineup who's probably might be the best lineup LSU has faced all season. I mean, this Arkansas lineup, when we get into them, they're elite for sure. Overall, the offense just needs to be a lot better than they were against Texas A&M. I mean, we've seen this offense succeed at times in SEC play, but the last 2 series on the road in College Station against Texas A&M and a couple weeks ago against Auburn, it wasn't good offense. It wasn't good offensive production by far. 2 hitters that kind of stood out and had, decent weekends. I mean, Ethan Fry was really good in game 2 with 3 hits, and then Luis Hernandez had 3 RBIs in game 3 on Sunday. Jay Johnson's been trying to mix the lineup up a little bit, like in game 2 of the doubleheader, game 2 of the series on Saturday, and game 3 of the game on Sunday as well. Jared Jones led off. Like, Jared Jones was the leadoff batter in the lineup, and they moved Derek Curiel down to like the 3 or 4 hole. Personally, I don't understand why you would move Derek Curiel out of the leadoff spot. I think he is the ideal leadoff hitter. Like, the amount of times he's gotten on base this season in pretty much every game outside of 1 or 2 this season. I didn't really understand that. To me, Jared Jones is a 3 or 4 hole hitter. Obviously, Jay Johnson knows a lot more about baseball than I do, but just from my opinion, I just think Derek Curiel is the ideal leadoff batter for this LSU offense.
I think it's a little bit. I think it's okay to criticize Jay on this one a little bit, but I think the move was more intended to make other guys maybe find a groove and see if Curiel could keep what he had going. I know you want to get Curiel as many at bats as you can, but I think that move was kind of made to cater to the other players. Obviously, it did not work, and I would expect Curiel to be back in the leadoff position. But the lineup was struggling so bad, it was almost like screw it, like I have no, like Jay was basically saying, I have no confidence. Like, let's try what I probably should not try and just roll with it because the lineup was struggling so bad. I'm okay with the change for a 1 game, You don't want to screw with Curiel, which moving him back, it'll be normal again, but you really had to get the other bats going because Curiel cannot be your only hitter on this team.
Yeah. I mean, Jay's obviously trying to switch things up a little bit. I mean, Sunday in game 3, 9th inning, LSU's down 6-4. Luis Hernandez has 3 RBIs in the game. He's in the best hitter in the game. And Jay Johnson pitch hits Tanner Reeves in place of Hernandez. Jay's trying to mix things up. I understand it. Few things this team needs to figure out offensively, but being back at home, back in the box, back in the confines of Baton Rouge, hopefully LSU is able to bounce back and put in some good effort this weekend against a really good Arkansas team, one of the best teams in the country. Last thing I wanted to say before we get into the Arkansas preview is when you look at SEC-only stats, so these are through 24 games of conference play, only Chris Stanfield and Derek Curiel, those are the only 2 guys batting over 300 in SEC play for this LSU team. Jared Jones is batting .252. Jake Brown is batting .241, and Stephen Milam shockingly is batting only .205 in SEC play. So, look, you expect the numbers to go down in SEC play compared to non-conference, but there are a few things when you look at it that you're like, there's a few things. If this LSU team gets to where it wants to go or wants to get to Omaha, which I believe they have all the talent in the world to get there and potentially win a national championship, but a couple of these guys are going to have to step up in big key situations. Like that's going to have to happen. And it's a wake-up call 2 weeks before going to the SEC tournament, but I think LSU can bounce back. I expect them to bounce back, hopefully, but they are playing one of the best teams in the country in the Arkansas Razorbacks this season. And, Arkansas has just been so good. They got a lot of talent on their squad. Let's get into kind of the Arkansas preview, kind of what this Arkansas team is looking like so far on the season. Again, we mentioned earlier how they are, according to the D1 Baseball Top 25, the latest Top 25 poll from D1 has Arkansas the number 7 team in the country. And then LSU only moved down one spot after the series loss. I mean, LSU is number 3 in the country. Arkansas is number 7. But Arkansas is projected to be in prime position for a top 8 seed and to be able to host regionals and super regionals. So a big series this weekend. Overall on the season, Arkansas is 40-9 overall in the season and 17-7 in SEC play. They're number 7 in the country. They're coming off a really, really big weekend. Last weekend, they swept Texas at home. And if you recall our talk about Texas was going into that series on the road against Arkansas was 19-2 in SEC play, and Arkansas won all 3 games against Texas. So they're coming off, they're hot right now. Like, they have a lot of momentum, especially after beating Texas, and they're 17-7. They still have a shot to get to the top of the SEC crown if Texas continues to falter in the final 2 weeks of conference play. So Arkansas is a really good team. When you look at batting average, team batting average, Arkansas is the first ranked team, has the highest team batting average overall and in SEC play of any SEC team. So statistically, they're the best offense in the SEC. They're really good pitching-wise as well. They're 4th in team ERA overall and 3rd in team ERA in SEC play out of 16 teams in the SEC. So this Arkansas team is really, really good. But yeah, let's get into it. We'll start with the starting rotation for Arkansas, as we always do for these previews. So the ace, the Friday night guy for this Arkansas team is left-hander Zach Root. Zach Root is the ace for Arkansas, left-hander with a 6-3 record, 3.95 ERA in 66 innings with 92 strikeouts and 24 walks in 12 starts. So Zach Root has been really good this season. Root has a fastball between 92 and 94 miles an hour with a really, really good changeup, a curveball, and an upper 80s cutter as well. So 4-pitch mix from Zach Root. Zach Root was absolutely phenomenal last weekend against Texas. Against Texas last weekend, Root was great. He threw 8 innings of scoreless baseball against Texas and only allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, and struck out 11 in 8 innings against a really good Texas lineup. So Zach Root has been really good this season, and he was great last weekend against Texas. Saturday guy for Arkansas, kind of been in flux a little bit. The Saturday guy, kind of one guy who's settled into the role at least the past 2 or 3 weeks. So the Saturday guy for Arkansas is right-hander Gage Wood. Gage Wood has a 1-0 record with a 3.77 ERA and 14 1/3 innings with 28 strikeouts and 2 walks in 5 starts. So he only has 5 starts on the season because through the first month and a half, Gage Wood was out due to injury. So he was coming off of injury, plugged into the starting spot the Saturday role for this Arkansas team, and he's been pretty good in it ever since he returned off of injury. Wood has a fastball that gets up to 97 miles an hour, and he has a really good bending breaking ball along with a slider as well. Against Texas, Wood threw 4 innings of 1-run baseball with 2 hits, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. The Sunday guy, the third starter, the Sunday guy for Arkansas is left-hander Landon Beidelshees. Landon Beidelshees. I was really focused on getting that name right.
Let's spell it out.
Last name is spelled Beidelskies. Landon Beidelshees is a left-hander. Beidelshees has a 4-0 record with a 4.65 ERA and 50 1/3 innings, not 15. 50 1/3 innings for Beidelshees with 50 strikeouts and 16 walks and 11 starts. He has a fastball in the mid-90s along with a really nice slider. And then last weekend, in Game 3 was Saturday. They had a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series against Texas. So last Saturday in Game 3 against Texas, Beidelshees pitched 4 innings against Texas. He gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So that's what the starting rotation looks like for the Razorbacks. Let's get into the bullpen. Really 2 or 3 top bullpen arms that I really want to highlight for this Arkansas Razorback team. And it starts with right-hander Gabe Gackle. Gabe Gackle has a 5.21 ERA and 48 1/3 innings with 57 strikeouts and 25 walks. Gackle has a 4-1 record. He has made 9 starts on the season. Gackle has a 96 to 98 mile an hour heater along with a slider, a curveball, and a sinking changeup. So 4-pitch mix for Gackle. He was starting at the beginning of the season. He has 9 starts on the season, but he was kind of struggling in his last few starts before he's made the move to the bullpen over the past 3 weeks. And ever since he made the move to the bullpen a few weeks ago, Gackle has been absolutely dominant, absolutely lights out stuff. I mean, some guys just aren't as good starting as they are coming out of the bullpen. And ever since Gabe Gackle has come out of the bullpen for about 3 weeks now, he's been absolutely dominant. Another guy to pay attention to is right-hander Aiden Jimenez. Jimenez has a 1.76 ERA and 30 2/3 innings with 31 strikeouts to only 4 walks. Aiden Jimenez is a righty with a low 90s fastball along with a really nice slider. Right-hander Dylan Carter. Dylan Carter has a 2.37 ERA and 30 1/3 innings with 33 strikeouts and 10 walks. Dylan Carter has a fastball between 93 and 96 miles an hour along with a nice slider. Another guy, a real veteran presence on this team. I think he's a 5th-year senior by now. Right-hander out of the bullpen, Will McIntyre. Will McIntyre is a 3.05 ERA and 20 2/3 innings with 24 strikeouts and 3 walks. McIntyre features an upper 80s fastball along with a changeup and a breaking ball. And then the last guy is right-hander Ben Bybee. Ben Bybee has a 4.28 ERA and 33 2/3 innings with 38 Ks and 9 walks. And then Ben Bybee has a mid-90s fastball along with a cutter and a swing and miss changeup. So that's what you'll see out of the bullpen for Arkansas. I'd say the main 3 guys you want to pay attention to out of the bullpen are Gabe Gackle, Aiden Jimenez, and then probably Will McIntyre because he's that real veteran presence, 5th-year senior on the team. So pay attention to Jimenez, Gackle, and McIntyre out of the bullpen for Arkansas. Let's move into the most dangerous part of this Arkansas team, and that's what I believe is probably statistically the best lineup LSU will face all season. I mean, the lineup for Arkansas has been absolutely dynamite all season, and it starts with 2 brothers, the Alloy brothers, Wahiwa Alloy and Kuhio Alloy. Wahiwa Alloy leads the Razorbacks with a .376 batting average with 16 doubles, 1 triple, a team leading 17 homers for Wahiwa Lloyd, and 52 RBIs. Wahiwa had 5 total hits against Texas, and then his brother Kuhio Aloy has a .359 average with 14 doubles, 12 bombs, and a team leading 65 RBIs. Kuhio had 3 hits, including a double and a bomb last weekend against Texas, so both Aloy brothers are batting well above .350 batting average on the season. Wahiwa leads this Razorback team with 17 home runs, and Kuhio leads this Razorback team with 65 RBIs on the season. So they've both just been a dynamite duo at the top of the order for this Arkansas team. Another guy you really want to pay attention to as well, along with the Aloy brothers, is Charles Davalon. Charles Davalon has a .351 average with 8 doubles, 1 triple, 13 home runs, and 49 RBIs. Davalon had 2 hits, including a home run last weekend against Texas. Really, those 3 guys, Wahiwa and Kuhio Aloy and Charles Davalon, are the top 3 guys in the lineup for Arkansas. In SEC play, just going through a few stats here. So in SEC play only, so through 24 SEC games, Wahiwa Aloy and Charles Davalon are both tied for 2nd in hits in SEC play, and they're both tied for 4th in home runs in SEC play. Charles Davalon is also 4th in SEC play in RBIs. So pay attention to the Aloy brothers and Davalon especially. Another guy you definitely want to pay attention to as well. I'd say there's really 4. This whole Arkansas lineup is dangerous, but there's really 4 guys you got to pay attention to. The Aloy brothers, Charles Davalon, and then this guy, Cam Kozel. Cam Kozel has a .341 average with 14 doubles, 11 bombs, and 52 RBIs. Kozel hit a bomb last weekend against Texas. The main thing about Kozel that stands out is Kozel is actually first in RBIs in SEC play. He leads the SEC in SEC action in RBIs. Kozel, Davalon, and the Aloy brothers are the 4 guys that are really, really dangerous on this Arkansas Razorback squad. A few more guys to pay attention to as well. Logan Maxwell has a .342 average with 3 doubles, 9 bombs, and 24 RBIs from Logan Maxwell. And then Brent Iredell. Brent Iredell has a .305 average with 10 doubles, 12 bombs, and 53 RBIs. And then Iredell had 4 hits, including a double and a home run last weekend against Texas. So overall, like I said, 4 main guys to pay attention to. The 2 Aloy brothers, Charles Davalon and Cam Kozel, they're all dynamite. Like, they're all great. And then Maxwell's been good. Iredell's been good. Yeah, this Arkansas lineup is no joke, dude. They're probably the best lineup this LSU team has faced as far as a power perspective, and as well as they just put runs on the board. They're a very, very dangerous lineup, and they're one that is going to cause a lot of challenges for this LSU pitching staff, who the past 2 weeks has looked pretty good in SEC play. But it's good on good this weekend. It's good on good when it comes to LSU pitching versus Arkansas hitting. Arkansas lineup has been absolutely dynamite this season, and it's going to be a real challenge for LSU, and one that I think they'll be up for, but again, it's going to be challenging. So guys to pay attention to as far as, kind of recapping this before we get our predictions, lineup-wise. The Lloyd brothers, Cam Kozel, Charles Davalon. 3 starters. Friday, expect left-hander Zach Root. Saturday, expect Gage Wood. Sunday, expect Landon Beidelshees. And then the guys you want to pay attention to out of the bullpen for Arkansas is Gabe Gackle, Aiden Jimenez, and Will McIntyre. So those are the guys you really want to pay attention to. As I said before, this is one of the absolute best teams in the country. They're going to be a top 8 seed. Like, Arkansas is going to be a top 8 seed. There's no doubt in my mind. They have so much talent, so much power on this Arkansas team. Getting into my prediction, after kind of that preview, prediction-wise, I just think Arkansas has a lot of momentum, Christian.
Yeah.
They have a lot of momentum after getting a sweep against Texas last weekend, who at the time was the number 1 team in the entire country, number 1 team in the D1 top 25, comes into Arkansas, and Arkansas sweeps them. So they're coming in with a lot of momentum. They're very good. The Lloyd brothers kind of scare me, along with Kozel, Davalon. I mean, when you look at the stats statistically, those guys are in the top 5 in nearly every stat in SEC play. I mean, that's how good that juggernaut of a lineup. With that being said, I think Arkansas is going to take 2 this weekend. I think they're going to win the series. I think Arkansas is going to take 2. I would say I think they're going to win Friday and Sunday. So I'm going to take Arkansas to win the series by winning Game 1 and by winning Game 3. I think LSU will win Game 2 on Saturday. Bottom line is they have to be better offensively, LSU. Which they have been at home. They've been better offensively at home than they've been on the road, by far. And I just think with this lineup, it just watch out for the long ball, especially from Lloyd and Charles Davalon. Both of those guys are tied for 4th in home runs in SEC play. And then, like I said earlier, I honestly think when I look at it and when I break it down, this is probably the best offense this LSU team has faced all season. And it just kind of worries me that, along with, the fact that this LSU lineup wasn't great last weekend against Texas A&M. Like I said, I don't think either team is going to get a sweep this weekend. But I just think Arkansas's got a lot of momentum, and I think they're going to take 2 out of 3. I think they take it Friday, and I think they take it in the rubber match on Sunday. Christian, hit me with, who do you think wins the series this weekend? Any thoughts you have going into this weekend, this big top 10 matchup in the box against Arkansas?
I think this is another hard series to predict. Not as hard as A&M, because I think I'm going to pick Arkansas. LSU struggled at the plate recently over the last couple of weeks, even against Tennessee. I know they run ruled them on Sunday, but they did struggle Friday and Saturday. They struggled last week pretty significantly as well. I think Arkansas wins. I think they win the Friday game, and I think they win. I like Ianson a lot, and I think they win the Sunday game. I'm with you. Are we picking the same games?
Yeah, we got the same prediction.
All right, I'm riding with you. I think Arkansas wins Friday and Sunday. LSU in the box, though, worries me on my prediction, because I might get it wrong on this, because LSU is they're lethal in the box.
Yeah.
They beat everybody in the box.
It'd be good if we got
They
our
haven't lost a
prediction
series
wrong.
in the box.
I think here's my thing. The last time I've only predicted LSU, this is my second time predicting LSU to lose a weekend series. The first time I did it was against Tennessee, and I was wrong, and I couldn't be more happy that I was wrong. I'm kind of trying to do the reverse psychology again here, see if it works. I do think on paper, though, in reality, Arkansas is they're a hotter team. They have the momentum.
Yeah.
And, I hope I'm wrong. Again, I will be so happy if we come in here next week and I'm wrong. But I just, with the way these two teams are trending, I just think Arkansas is going to take 2 this weekend.
I agree. And I will say this. LSU needs to fix the lineup. There's no changes that need to be made. These guys just need to figure it out at the plate. And I think the way they do that is just stringing better at-bats together. If you start stringing better at-bats together, whether they lead to outs or hits or walks, it doesn't matter. Just lengthen at-bats, get the starter out the game earlier than what they usually go. So if a guy goes 7 innings, usually 6-7 innings usually, get him out in the 5th inning, 4th inning, get his pitch count high, get him walking guys, earn your bases. 3-2 count, you got to get a walk here. 2-1 count, you got to stay in the hitters count. I think if LSU can do that, they can really fix their lineup problems, because they can get to the bullpen, and that's where they can make their money. Against Tennessee, they got to the bullpen, they hit a walk-off grand slam, walk-off 3-run shot, and then on Sunday they got to the bullpen again, and they won pretty handily. They lost Saturday because why? Because the Saturday guy went, 7 innings?
Mm-hmm.
8 innings?
Mm-hmm.
He went a long time. He was in a long time. Marcus Phillips, he was in it all game, it felt like. They struggled against A&M too, getting their guys out of the game, and it just so happened A&M had a guy like Cowan come in the game, like a guy that can shut it down. So I think if LSU can string better at bats together, their offense might not come alive the way we've seen in past years, but they certainly can score enough runs to win games, especially with the pitching performances that they've been getting from their guys. So
Yeah.
that's my prediction, and that is my key to winning.
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, last home weekend series, an attendance record was broken in the Tennessee series. Do we see that record broken again this weekend?
No. I think the record's set because it is a good record. We're predicting attendance records now. That's funny. I'd say this: it's finals week. Students are going home. I think the students will pack it in, but a lot of the students I can't get in the section go to the general admission, and it's graduation weeks for a lot of people. And I would also say that LSU coming off a loss does not help either. And I would say a lot of people dislike Tennessee more than they dislike Arkansas, if that makes sense. I think Tony Vitello is a lot more disliked, and Arkansas is not the defending national champs. I think the record's been set. If they break it again, hooray. I don't know if they do. I think if we see the record broken again, it'll be a super regional.
Yeah.
Or a regional.
The box is still going. It's going to be packed this weekend.
Oh no, it's going to be
like
packed.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be packed.
Will it be packed to the absolute brim like it was Tennessee?
Maybe not, but
it
will be.
But not. Maybe a few hundred missing.
Yeah. But anyway, look, I'm excited for this weekend. Excited for this big top 10 matchup against Arkansas. Always fun when Arkansas comes to the box. Schedule-wise, Game 1 of the series is Friday night, May 9th. Game 1 starts at 6:30 Friday, May 9th. 6:30 first pitch, Game 1 Friday. 5:30 is the time for first pitch of Game 2 on Saturday. The series closer, Game 3 on Sunday. First pitch is at 3 o'clock. So 6:30 Friday, 5:30 Saturday, 3 o'clock on Sunday. Excited to see what the Tigers do this weekend. Again, we both picked LSU to win Saturday but lose Game 1 on Friday and Game 3 on Sunday. I hope we're wrong, but that's just what we think with how...
Anytime we predict an LSU L, we hope we're wrong.
Yeah, obviously. But with the way these two teams are trending, with LSU dropping the series to Texas A&M last weekend while Arkansas swept the number 1 team in the country at the time, Texas, that's just how I think it's going to go, how we think it's going to go. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We ask that you would like, share, comment, subscribe, give us your take on what you think will happen this weekend in this big top 10 matchup. LSU Fighting Tigers hosting Arkansas on a 3-game series at the box. It should be packed, should be fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we hope you have a good one.